When you work with founders that maybe, who don't have internal HR, do you see kind of any parallels between their journey and your own? Like, do you see how they're struggling to build and maybe you're able to, really tap into that, I would imagine.
Definitely. I see the challenge of trying to support HR, your staff, compliance, engagement, all these things without having that experience. And so I'm able to relate to them and help them to see where, it really is important that you get some help, professional HR help, because even now, 20 plus years after I started, human resources is so much more complicated with compliance. And it really is critical that you have a plan, you get support, because ultimately every business, it's about people. You can have the greatest business, but people have to implement that for you. And so you really need to focus on people strategies. And that's what I try and help founders do.
What is the biggest HR risk or mistake that you see small businesses um, who don't have an HR support consultant? What is the risk there that they face?
So the biggest risk I see is handing over the HR function to someone who's just good with people and not necessarily have the experience. So the risk comes in where there's huge compliance risks, particularly in California, for not doing the right thing unintentionally, not knowing the right thing to do. I think that's a huge risk. The other risk is just really having a culture that you didn't plan, it just happened. And oftentimes, when that culture just happens, it's not good. So, yes, really being intentional about the culture that you build, and HR can help you with that because you're going to focus on not only policy creation, but also engaging.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kinda put the guardrails on and kind of set them on a path and make sure, they're staying. Yeah, I like that. How do people issues impact productivity and business growth? Or, I would imagine, leaders might not see that correlation between, productivity and HR and how they're growing. Share with us kind of how they are intertwined. That's important.
They are so intertwined, and particularly for small businesses, because as a small business, if one person is underperforming, there may not be someone else who can pick up the pace and can make those improvements. So it is critical. Typically, with underperforming employees, you've wasted 30 to 50% of their salary if that is not handled. And so avoiding issues like that, if you're a small business and you've got 10 employees and one is underperforming, that can cost you quite a bit on your bottom line. But imagine if you're larger and you're 50 employees and 2% or a few of your employees are underperforming, that's going to impact your clients, your customers, your productivity, all of that. And small businesses are going to feel it before a larger enterprise.